Good morning everyone, welcome to Dendera. How do you like the new smile? Anyway, we've got a few projects on today. One of them is to mulch out these trees along here. So I've just got in and mowed a little bit just so that we can actually see those trees and plants. And what we're actually doing and using is the compost from our toilet bucket system. The bay that we're taking stuff out of has been sitting for over 2 years now, and we're ready to mulch some fruit trees. So being that it's been sitting for 2 years since it was first used, all of the pathogens, all of the bacteria, all of those nasty horrible things that could be there from human waste has died. But we're also planting it, putting it around fruit trees, not around salad greens or something like that we're going to be picking all the time. So it's basically just going to be a really, really good mulch. So I've got this area mowed. Unfortunately, somebody helped me the other day and did some mowing for me, and they mowed right over the top of my blueberry. And look, it's actually coming back. I was so worried, I thought I'd lost it. But we're going to mulch that little baby today, so she won't get lost again. So hopefully we can create a bit of a berm along here to make it so that this area works really nice on contour for collecting water and watering the trees. And we also need to mulch around that mulberry tree, which guess who got out and guess who munched on it again. So my poor mulberry got munched again. It had amazing leaves on it before the goats got to it again. They got to the other one over there as well. Oh, goats. I've got to get better at keeping them in their fence, but they're staying in there now, so that's all good. But the grass has just gotten so long and it's gotten so out of control. I've got to find my food forest. But now that we've come into autumn, the weather is cooling down and it's a lot easier to be working out here. I think I might get the rake and rake up some of this lawn clippings and put them around the trees too. But yeah, I'll show you what the composting system looks like at the moment. So this is where we put our humanure once it's done. So we use the 20-litre buckets with the commode chair. And there's Jonathan. I did try to convince him not to wear his brand new hat. What does it say, Jonathan? Do you remember?
I can't buy no guy.
Yeah, you do know a guy, hey. So this is what Jonathan got for Easter. It's one of my new designs. I'll leave a link down below. It's available on Redbubble and Etsy and on Amazon. So this is only half a bay at the moment, but we've got quite a few more bays. There's only a couple that are ready to be emptied. Technically, I think that was the first one and we refilled it, so it's going to need to wait again. So we've got all that lovely sawdust and organic matter ready to go onto the garden. Well, particularly the fruit trees. So, mode of moving. I'll be back to show you progress. Okay, so there she is. It's still got a long way to break down yet, so, and I'm gonna have to make sure I don't put it too close to the fruit trees and make sure I have a nice base around them. Mr. Mussels. Actually, that's broken down more than I thought it had. Isn't he a big helper? And what does it smell like, Jonathan?
Normal sawdust.
Normal sawdust?
Well,
or dirt?
more like that.
More like dirt? Excellent!
And it feels more like that too.
Sweet!
It feels nice and hard to move.
It looks like it's moving fairly easily, actually.
It's quite heavy.
But I've got to go get some more mowing done. And leave my big strong men to work on filling up sawdust wheelbarrows. That's actually broken down really well. Really pleased with that. I thought I'd give you a quick before shot of the other side of the food forest. Oh dear, it's totally overgrown. I really need to get in here with the rice knife. I just don't know if I'm well enough at the moment, but I could give it a go. The lemongrass is doing fantastically, so it's going to be a really nice mulch. But I need to get in here and cut everything back, find my poor little hiding citrus trees so that they've got some sunlight, and get these all mulched. And I mean, I'm not going to have enough just in that one barrel of mulch to mulch it all, but it's somewhere to start. So I'm going to come through and pick up some of this grass clippings and put it onto the garden as well, onto the food forest areas. So it'll be good organic matter to feed the soil. So yes, the tricky part in here at the moment is finding the plants and not and getting rid of the weeds. So yeah, anyway, that's our plan for today. And here comes the first lot of compost. Oh, and I forgot to put a bucket on top of that blueberry. I better do that now. Well, I've made progress, but the lawnmower's just thrown the belt, so I'm gonna have to wait for Gavin to fix it up. And he and Jonathan made some big progress. Jonathan did 2 big trolleys before he decided he wasn't feeling well enough to do any more. And honestly, he's recovering from a cold, so he's doing well. But yes, so the blueberry is definitely nicely mulched now. So yes, and I got a lot of magpies and peewees investigating where I've mowed. So I did get a reasonable amount done. I still want to get more done, but I've got to see if we can get the belt back on. Unfortunately, it's become quite stretched and it really needs to be replaced. But it's a little difficult to find suppliers, which is a challenge. So I got a reasonable amount done. Got stuck in here. The grass is just too long. Need to come through and do here again. I got some of here done. Got stuck here too, through the belt. Looks like my macadamia nut's still alive. I think I may have lost my elderberry. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to get in here with the rice knife. I'm just not sure if I'm well enough at the moment to do that. Got covered in cobbler's pegs over here. Got the blade stuck again here. So yeah. Yes, I think if I was going to do this again, planting out a food forest again, I probably would have made bigger tracks to make it so a tractor could go down, because I get a tractor to slash the rest of the paddock. But he can't get up in here. I mean, he might be if he knew where the garden beds were, but everything was so overgrown he couldn't find anything. I think I lost this macadamia. The blueberry might still be in there. Yeah, I think the blueberry's still okay. But I've got to get in there with the rice knife, chop it all back, see where it is. I'm not sure how much I'm going to get done today. Probably not much. Pear is still alive, which is wonderful. And it looks like all of the apples, because there's 3 different varieties on that tree, looks like they're all alive still, so that's great. I think there was a blueberry on the end there, but I'll have to get in there with the rice knife, and I'll have to get in there with the rice knife. I don't think I'm going to get much done today, but I'm going to try, and I'll probably just lay the grass that's here down as mulch on the beds, and then eventually put another layer of wood chips or something on top to suppress any of those seeds from growing. Otherwise I'll just have grass all through there again. which is going to happen anyway. Ideally I'd like to have a different type of plant growing in between. Or, I mean, if I had a wood chipper and excessive amounts of wood chip, then I'd just layer the whole thing with wood chips. But at the moment, mowing in between is probably a good thing to do, just to help keep the path down, and it provides an organic matter source to be able to mulch things with. So I don't know, there's stuff to be said for grass. It's not all bad, and honestly it's the only problem I've got at the moment is it's overgrown and I just haven't been able to fix it, and it's been too hot. But most of my food forest looks like it has actually survived summer, which is a big thing here, especially when I haven't been able to get out here and water. We have had a reasonably wet summer, but yeah. A bit disappointed in how the passion fruit vines are gone, although since I've pulled out the weeds around this one, it seems to have taken off a bit. So it's doing okay. Need to get some more weeds out of there. This one over here is not doing well at all, but it was just completely surrounded in weeds and I hadn't mulched it. So it is mulched now, so hopefully that'll help it do a little bit better. But yeah, I really need to get in there and mow in there and mulch in there and rice knife in there. It's just so much to do, and my capacity is a lot lower than I would like it to be at the moment. And Matthew's twisted his ankle, so he can't do mowing, and he and Jonathan have been sick for the last nearly week. Well, Jonathan started, then Matthew started, so that poor little sausage, he's not doing well. Anyway, such is life. I've decided that the big thing you need to really do is to learn how to become more resilient, learn how to cope when life happens, because life is going to happen. And we need to prepare for when life happens. So anyway, need to make sure you have a resilient garden and a resilient lifestyle, so you're not living on the edge. I know there's a saying that if you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space. But the other problem is, if you're living on the edge, you could fall off the edge. And you need to prepare for when you do fall off the edge. And make sure you have plans in place. And not just go out on a limb without any plan. Because yeah, it might work sometimes, but other times it's not going to work. But yeah, build resilience into your garden. Build lots of mulch in. Deep mulch, like I'm talking 6 to 12 inches of mulch, just to hold all that moisture in and to really help protect and feed the soil microbiome. But this is probably not the best time of day to be doing stuff either, because it's quite hot today. As much as we're mid-autumn, I would be guessing we're up around the 30 degrees, but I'm going to check that. But I might at least aim to get around the mulberry done, and maybe the moringa. I'll see how I'm going. Okay, so I got in there mowed mostly. I really need to go in and move chicken coops and move pens that aren't being used and mow around those, but I think I ran out of petrol, and I've run out of daylight. So mowed a bit down here. The ice cream bean tree's really starting to do well. The rosella has died. I don't know what happened to it. It just curled up its toes. I'm wondering whether maybe it's not getting enough sun because of the pigeon pea. Or whether I didn't water it enough, which is possible. The guava's not doing much, but I don't think it's getting enough sun because it's getting shaded out completely between the casuarina and the pigeon pea that's gone nuts. But really pleased with the ice cream bean tree. It's doing quite well, as is the yarrow. Blueberry's doing well, wormwood's doing well. I did get a little bit of this done, but it ended up with a really nasty stitch, and 3 hours later that stitch still has not left me alone. So most of that stuff over there is actually already cut down and laid down. I may have lost the blueberry in here. I may not have. There's still a bit of green left on it, so it may not be totally dead. It might just be that one branch. The rosemary's doing well. I really need to get in and finish weeding out these beds. It's made a huge difference in here just getting the mowing done. But and Gavin did fix the ride on for me and got the belt back working again. Of course, now it's run out of fuel. So, I mean, that's not tragic. That's easily fixed. Like, I'm assuming that's a problem. Gavin and Jonathan got that all mulched. There's still a few more bays that need to be emptied out, so a lot more mulch that can go down here. So yes, really pleased with this end mulberry that I've put in. I've probably got way too many plants in a small space. The pigeon pea's doing well, mulberry's doing well, Canada lily's doing well, and the dogbane's doing well. I planted the dogbane to stop animals from digging it up. So yeah, I did get a lot done. So really pleased with how much I got done. I really need to get in here and mulch the mango and get rid of all these cobbler's pegs that are just taking over. There is a mango in there somewhere. But yeah, I'm just not doing real well with my health at the moment. So yeah, I've still got an awful lot to do. And honestly, this has knocked the stuffing out of me. I don't know if you can tell my eyes are a bit puffy again. I've probably pushed a little too hard today. But I did wait for it to cool down before I came back out again. And I'm really pleased with the progress I made. A bit frustrated that I couldn't get more done. But I need to remember where my limits are. I need to listen to my limits and need to not push too hard through those limits. And I'm really pleased. Honestly, I'm really pleased with the progress that everything's making. The garden's doing really well. This mulberry's not doing as well as the others, which is a bit disappointing, but I may have too many of these around it. I probably should trim that back a bit. Might be competing a bit too much. But really pleased. Glad I got a lot of that cleared back. It's looking a little bit better. I would have liked to have gotten mulch on top of that grass, but honestly I exceeded my capacity just doing that. And now I'm paying for it. So hopefully it doesn't knock me silly for a couple of days. I don't know, this stitch just won't go away. I've never had a stitch hang on like this before. Yeah, really, in general, I'm quite pleased with how the garden's going, considering how much I've neglected it over summer, just because I haven't been well, and it's been too hot. But too hot is going to go hand in hand with living in the climate that I'm living in, so I've just got to make sure that I get most of my gardening done between autumn and spring and prepare the garden for the next summer. So winter is our best growing time here in southeast Queensland because it's nice and cool, so it's a good time for gardening. I don't have any winter crops in yet, but honestly mostly I tend to stick to perennials. But I'm done for the day. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the little bit of a garden catch up and see what we do with our humanure after it's been sitting for 2 years. It's going to be a really good source of organic matter for the garden, which is fantastic. But yeah, anyway, I hope your gardens are all growing well and you're all healthy and well. And remember, you're either green and growing or you're ripe and rotting. And if you want one of those shirts, check down below. And I'll catch you in the comments section. Bless you.